Welcome to Southampton Power Station. Before beginning work, it is necessary that you understand a few basic rules, policies, and hazards at our site. Safety is an integral part of our operation. Potential on-site hazards include high voltage electricity, high temperature and pressure process piping, as well as a variety of chemicals. Jobs involving these hazards have additional PPE requirements. As a member of the Virginia Volunteer Protection Program, we take safety seriously, and we ask that you please pay close attention to our plant's rules and regulations. Any violation can result in you or your company being restricted from the premises. As a result, payment will only be made for work completed at the time of the restriction. Unless otherwise instructed, contractors should park in the lot located to the left of the main security gate. Portable toilets and hand washing stations are available for contractors located as needed around the facility. Please use these responsibly. When unusual conditions exist or maintenance activities are underway that require others to stay clear, yellow or red barricade tape will be used. Yellow tape designates an area where you must use caution. Red tape means there's a dangerous hazard present and you must not enter that area. All barricades are to have a tag affixed containing the following information: reason for barrier, person installing the barrier, and date of barrier installation. A barrier with yellow caution tape may be entered after determining that conditions for safe entry exists. A barrier with red danger tape may not be entered unless the person is directly involved with the hazard or permission has been obtained from the person in charge and after verifying proper safety precautions have been taken. As a contracted employee, you and your company will need to provide proof of insurance and have signed an insurance verification form. A valid driver's license is also required to operate any vehicle on the grounds of the plant. Every day that you are working on the plant site, you will need to sign in at the visitor's log, or have someone from your company sign in everyone who will be on site that day. The visitor's log is located at the main entrance door on the first floor. Please remember to sign out when you leave for the day, as this log will be used to verify all personnel have left during plant-wide evacuations. In the event of an emergency, notification will be made over the plant PA system or by station employees, and you will be asked to cease work and report to a muster site. The primary muster site is the plant front gate, but may be changed due to the nature of the emergency. You are required to wear an OSHA-approved hard hat, safety glasses with side shields, ANSI-approved protective footwear for the type of hazards you will be encountering, as well as long pants and sleeved shirt. Other PPE may be required on a job-by-job basis. For example, safety glasses alone are not enough when using a grinder. Most physical activities require gloves for hand protection, and not all gloves are created equal. Specific hazards such as electrical work, hot work, and cutting hazards call for specific gloves for these tasks. You're also responsible for complying with all federal, state, and local regulations, including, but not limited to, OSHA, Virginia Department of Labor, and EPA. Prior to beginning your work each day, a NAES Safe Work Permit must be generated for all jobs performed on the plant site. The Safe Work Permit is a guide for discussion in a pre-job brief and provides documentation that a pre-job brief was conducted. It identifies safety and environmental risks associated with the work to be performed and will require both NAES personnel and contractors to fill out completely. A copy of the Safe Work Permit will be kept in the control room, and another will be given to you per your request. Before leaving the site at the end of the day, all personnel must individually sign off of this form just as they signed on earlier. Before beginning work on a system or component, a lockout tagout will likely be required. A hot work permit must be issued before any hot work is performed outside of the maintenance shop or welding area. Hot work includes welding, cutting with a torch, grinding, or any spark or flame-producing activity. The area should be free of flammable material and combustible dust to a 35-foot radius of the work. A welding ground shall be connected as close as possible to the material being worked on. The contractor is required to provide a qualified fire watch with a fire extinguisher during the work. Do not use fire extinguishers that are already in place, as they are for emergency use only. The fire watch must remain at the job site for a minimum of 30 minutes after the work is completed to verify that there is no possibility of fire. Welding in a well-traveled area will require the use of welding curtains or shields to prevent eye injury to other employees. Welding overhead or in an area that allows slag to fall will require additional safeguards. Proper ventilation is essential. It is important to know the characteristics of the material with which you are working. For example, burning galvanized metal can result in hazardous smoke and gases that can be harmful if inhaled, and stainless steel welding will produce harmful hexavalent chromium. Before hooking up any of your equipment, you must first get approval from the control room operator. They will also provide assistance in locating a welding receptacle, compressed air, or plant water connections. You must also contact the control room if you need a jumper or temporary bypass. At no time is a contractor allowed to open or close valves or electrical breakers, or change the status of any equipment. You will need to contact the control room operator for assistance if this is needed. A personal fall arrest system shall be utilized and attached to an appropriate anchorage, where there is a potential fall hazard of greater than 4 feet, or when working within 11 feet of an exposed edge, floor, or wall opening, and no other restraining device or handrail is in place. Here at Southampton, it is recommended that you use a retractable lanyard on your personal fall arrest system. Eye wash and safety showers are located throughout the plant. Make sure that you familiarize yourself with the nearest station before beginning work. If you have any safety concerns, talk to your supervisor before proceeding. Also be aware that any Southampton Power Station employee is authorized to stop your work if it is deemed unsafe. A combination of high-pressure and temperature-processed piping containing air, fuel, water, and steam is used to produce electricity in the plant. Steam is used throughout the plant and is the main force that turns the turbine generator. Pressures range from as little as 5 pounds per square inch to over 2,000 pounds per square inch, with temperatures ranging from ambient to over 950 degrees Fahrenheit. Most piping that can cause thermal injuries is insulated, but there are still exposed metal components that can cause serious burns. Do not touch or grab any non-insulated piping or valves without first knowing its temperature. There are many types of solvents and chemicals on site. A hazardous materials label marks these containers, and some may be accompanied by a materials safety data sheet. Always use extreme caution when dealing with any of these elements. Any chemicals brought onto the plant, whether they are to be used here or just happen to be in your vehicle, require an MSDS sheet. No exceptions. Contractors are responsible for properly disposing of all hazardous waste or chemicals brought onto the site, or hazards that may have been created during the course of the contracted work. At the south end of the plant is a silo filled with lime. When combined with water, this material is extremely caustic and produces a large amount of heat, capable of causing extreme burns. Just southwest of the ash silo, there are 2 aqueous ammonia storage tanks. These tanks contain ammonia at a concentration of 19.5%. Special PPE is required when working with this equipment. The easily recognized odor of aqueous ammonia provides adequate warning of its presence. If encountered, stop all work, exit the area upwind, and notify the control room. There's a 48,825-gallon tank on the west side of the plant that contains number 2 fuel oil. Our plant uses number 2 fuel oil as a fuel source. There's 1 propane tank and a propane tank storage rack at the facility, which are located next to the water tank across from the cooling tower. If you suspect a propane leak, no matter how small, immediately stop all work in that area and notify the control room. Our company policy prohibits smoking in any building on this site, nor is it allowed within 50 feet of the fuel storage area or the propane tank, or within 35 feet of an active hot work permit area. However, we do have designated smoking areas outside where you will find suitable containers for disposing of your cigarette butts. E-cigarette smoking policy is treated the same as regular cigarettes. If hot work is performed in any fuel piping, it must be first purged with either compressed air or inert gas such as nitrogen. Any procedure such as this must first be discussed with a control room operator and approved before work can begin. High voltage electricity is an ever-present fact of life at Southampton Power Station. All high voltage sources are clearly labeled. The main switch yard is kept locked for everyone's safety. Voltages used and produced here start at 24 volts DC and go all the way to 115 kilovolts. Prior to disposal of any waste generated during your work, please notify the control room or the compliance coordinator. Oily waste, including grease, hazardous wastes, and municipal waste, must be stored and handled separately. Aerosol cans do not go in the regular trash. They must be punctured, drained, and logged using the aerosol can disposal station at the north wall of the turbine bay. The empty can will then be discarded into the metal bin outside the turbine bay. Any work that affects emissions controls, pollution control equipment, or monitors must be pre-approved and identified on a safe work permit for the job. When work is to be performed in the woodyard, special precaution must be given to keep vehicles and equipment away from the stacker and reclaimer booms, as this equipment automatically changes position and will make contact with anything in its path. There are a number of conveyors in the plant. Special attention should be paid when working around this equipment due to the large number of moving parts associated with conveyors. In the event of an emergency, every conveyor has an emergency pull cord running the length of the conveyor that will shut down the conveyor when the cord is pulled. Due to the high volume of truck traffic in the fuel receiving area, visitors and contractors should exercise caution and always stay visible to drivers when in this area. You are required to sign our contractor safety briefing form, stating that you understand the rules and regulations of this site. Thank you for your time. We hope you have a safe and productive working experience.